Your favourite away ground to play in?
Tottenham. We used to beat them a lot.
We all did.
We all beat them.
Sorry, Tottenham fan.
The Tottenham fan. No, but we did. And Chelsea had a thing from before I came to the club where it was they called it 3-point lane rather than White Hart Lane, and they just go there win.
Passed off.
Yes, Chelsea travel away to North London to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as they'll be facing Tottenham this Sunday. Now, in our video today, we're going to do a match preview, a tactical preview. We're going to look at what Enzo Maresca said in his press conference. We're also going to look at the injury situation, the lineups that we expect from this team, and how we expect the team to play. Now, Chelsea are currently sitting second. Spurs are sitting 10th. Spurs lost to Bournemouth in their last game. Chelsea have won their last 3 games. And Chelsea are looking quite great now. So Chelsea are yet to beat the traditional top 6 team. But you know that they are usually have favor against Tottenham. So will Chelsea actually do it this time? So let's look at what Enzo Maresca said in his press conference. Now, the first thing he was asked about and he talked about was the Club World Cup draw. He gave his opinions. He talked about how that would affect Chelsea's preseason. And he also shared the light that we'll probably see the situation and the condition of the team then and what they can actually do in that competition. Another thing that Enzo Maresca talked about was the injury situation. And yes, the same players who are out injured. Reece James is not yet back. Fofana is yet to be back. And there are no new injuries as per now. But he talked about playing the midweek fixture. We had 5 different goal scorers. We even now seeing players like Enzo Fernandez chipping in goals. The wingers are also scoring. So he's very happy that the team is not heavily reliant on Cole Palmer. And this is actually allowing Cole Palmer to even play with a lot of freedom. So that is just to summarize whatever he talked about in his press conference. Now we move on to the lineups and the tactics. But before we even start that, a lot of you watch our videos and they are yet to subscribe. Kindly, we ask you to subscribe to our channel, like and share this video to your friends. Now, in goal, as Maresca said, Sanchez is Chelsea's number 1 at the moment. The last 3 games, Sanchez has played quite well. Jorgensen came in midweek. He was strong. He was solid. His passing was great. And so far, Sanchez is playing well. And the competition is healthy because it's actually getting even the best out of Robert Sanchez. So he's more likely to start in goal. I'm going to go with the back 3. I'm going to go and play Benoit as the right-sided centre-back. I know he's left-footed, but I saw Maresca playing him ahead of Tosin, and I do expect that he will retain that situation. Colwill down the middle and Cucurella down the left. So that is going to be the back line. Of course, Fofana is heavily missed because he's a right-footed player and he offered Chelsea. But so far, Benoit Badiashile has looked to play quite well in the games that he has played. Probably we are getting the pre-injury Benoit Badiashile, hopefully. I'm going to go with the midfield duo of Caicedo and Lavia. And Caicedo and Lavia, I'm playing them in the base of that midfield. Though Caicedo will be playing in 2 positions. When Chelsea are in a defensive organization, he will move back to right back and try to help the back 3. But when Chelsea have the ball, he will join that midfield. It is good to have the pivot of Lavia and Caicedo because they are really solid and strong. I'm going to go with the attacking 4 of Noni Madueke down the right, Neto down the left, Fernandez and Palmer as the 2 attacking players. Fernandez in this case will be the one to drop into the midfield when Chelsea do not have the ball. But the reason why I'm going to go with Neto down the left wing is because I expect that Neto will give us that pace, because Spurs are going to give us a lot of space in behind with their high line and how they commit a lot of players forward. So it is good to have a player like Neto and Madueke for transition. Leading the line is Nicholas Jackson. He likes to score against Tottenham, and he's a very pacey player, very strong. And this game, Chelsea forwards are going to have a lot of space in behind. So I hope that Maresca is training on how to play those balls over the line, and Jackson is working on how he's going to make a lot of runs in this game. So now let's look at the lineup. So this is my lineup now. This is how I've arranged it. You can see Sanchez in goal. You can see the back three. You can see the midfield two. You can see the attacking four and the striker. And I believe this structure is good enough to give Chelsea the much needed 3 points. And having this attacking five ahead is very devastating against Spurs, and actually is going to give Chelsea that extra needed attacking threat to destroy Tottenham in the counter. Now let's look tactically and analyze. So Tottenham Hotspur, yes, they are at home. Postecoglou does not change how he plays, so he's likely to press aggressively high. So Chelsea can start by dropping either of the centre backs on either side of Robert Sanchez. Cucurella can look to generate width down the left, and Caicedo automatically can look to start in that inverted position together with Lavia, forming that 3-2 in build-up. Noni Madueke can start out wider with Fernandez pulling into the left half space and Cole Palmer moving into the right half space position. Now, Palmer can be the one who then dropping into that pseudo right back position during build-up, but you're going to see how Chelsea can do it. Now, Spurs will press aggressively high with an aggressive high line, limiting any space in between the lines, with Maddison joining Solanke in the press. Now, Maddison and Solanke will be looking to go aggressively on Chelsea's centre backs, and the two double pivots will push on to Chelsea's pivots to stifle them and prevent them any space. Now, in this case, Sanchez needs to know how to move the ball quick, especially to players such as Lavia, who can look to pick players in between the lines, like Palmer or Enzo Fernandez in these kinds of positions. Once Chelsea have this ball, they should automatically look to play balls over the top. Remember, Chelsea will have a lot of pacey players. Neto will be there, Noni will be there, and Jackson will be there. So that can give Chelsea that threat. This might even make Spurs sometimes to drop their lines deeper, but Postecoglou does not change. He wants his team to play as he usually wants his team to play. So we need to capitalize on that high line. When Chelsea have settled the possession, Chelsea can maintain that 3-2-2-3 structure, with Lavia and Caicedo being at the heart of that midfield. They are very press resistant, they are excellent on the ball, and they are excellent ball winners, meaning that they will be able to pick players who drop in between the lines, such as Jackson, and also players such as Fernandez and Palmer in between the line. The thing that you also need to understand is that Tottenham have only one fit centre back coming into this game, so even Pedro Porro can play as a centre back. And in that case, Chelsea should utilize the physicality of Jackson in that place. Chelsea should look to play the likes of Neto and Madueke in behind because they are very pacey, with Neto in particular playing and occupying that position, looking to whip in crosses and lower cutbacks in that position for Chelsea's attacking player to look to score goals. On the other hand, Chelsea can also look to utilize Marco Correa if he's not under pressure from Kulusevski by moving with the ball in field and carrying the ball forward in a way that is able to draw in attackers and have Pedro Neto 1v1 with the right back. This might ensure that Neto is able to pull the right back out of position. Once he's able to pull the right back out of position, then players such as Enzo Fernandez can look to attack that half space position, maybe looking to whip in across, maybe looking to have a shot on goal, or even attempting many things from that inside position. Now, because we've seen this happen before, we saw in the game against Aston Villa how Caicedo was very instrumental. See, when Caicedo moves forward to make and attempt these passes, you see that Lavia is the one who usually sits deep in front of that back three. You can see how they like to coordinate with each other. They are tight still in that midfield. They are very strong with the ball, and they're able to move the ball quickly. And one advantage of having these players here, it's because it denies players like Fernandez the chance to be dropping deep. Look at the position where they're picking the ball. And when they're able to pick the ball and they're very press resistant, they are able to ensure the likes of Palmer and Fernandes don't come deep. And once Palmer and Fernandes don't come deep, then they're able to progress this ball from this area of pressure. Look at the position of Lavia and Caicedo, and look at the position of Palmer and Enzo Fernandez. And because they will be occupying this position, Chelsea will have that outlet of playing the balls in between the lines and outnumbering the opposition's backline. And also you can see how Caicedo is very strong in winning that ball and immediately having Chelsea restart the attack quick. Chelsea that need that steel, they need that engine, they need that physicality in that midfield. Look at that 3-2 build-up that I'm talking about that I want to see Chelsea have in this game. Automatically, Caicedo has the ball, and you can see clearly that he has the opportunity to pick Fernandes. Now, Fernandes is receiving this ball in between the lines, and he can automatically play that ball onto Jadon Sancho. Now, in this case, we will be having Neto in that position. Again, look at how they are playing as two pivots in that position. And look at how Caicedo has dropped into that backline when Chelsea do not have the ball and actually playing as a right back. And he can actually be stronger in playing against Son. Now, this 3-2 structure, with sometimes even Cucurella joining that midfield, will give Chelsea a lot of strength when they are looking to build up. You can see even Cucurella has joined that midfield and is looking to stifle and suffocate Aston Villa. That is what I expect Chelsea to have in this game. Now, that one might push Spurs deeper. And if Spurs insist on pressing aggressively high with their numbers, then Sanchez can even step forward to give Chelsea that outball. And the main aim is to try and outnumber and have us 11 players against 10. And whenever Chelsea are in this position, Colwill in particular should attempt those balls over the top or those line-breaking passes. Or Caicedo should also attempt those balls from deeper, looking to find Jackson, who will be looking to make runs in behind. Now, what about Spurs? What do you expect with Spurs in the ball? Now, Spurs will have the ball because they are a possession-based team. And Chelsea need to be structured in how they press. Chelsea need to move as a unit, as a 4-4-2 unit, and they don't have to make the mistakes they made in the Southampton game earlier on. Now, Spurs, what they do is they initially invert their fullbacks in the half spaces and have their midfielders deeper. Now, here's where Chelsea need to capitalize because Spurs will try to create that 5-man overload in midfield. One way Chelsea can look to mitigate this is to narrow the distance between their wingers and their midfielders so that they clog up any chain. Another thing is that Chelsea need to have one of their pivots sitting deep on a pivot while the other, especially Nicholas Jackson, moving to be the one who is actually employing that press. Now, the main aim of employing that press is to force Spurs to play the ball on one side. And this should be backed with a man-to-man pressing approach that limits any form of central progression. And whenever Maddison looks to shift out to receive the ball in that left-back position, then the winger should be aggressive to push out and try to win the ball off Maddison. The thing with Chelsea is that whenever they win this ball off of Tottenham, they will have acres upon acres of space to transition and look to damage Tottenham. Now, if Chelsea now have a comfortable lead, they can decide to sit in a mid 4-4-2 block. Their main aim is not to try and dominate the ball, but rather to catch Tottenham in transition. Because Tottenham like to build with this 2-3-5 structure with the pivot dropping deeper and the outer midfielders pushing forward. Chelsea can have one midfielder springing out to win the ball off Bissouma. And because Chelsea will have that attacking threat on the wide, especially with the pace of Neto and Noni Madueke in the wide areas, they should automatically look to capitalize and making rapid counter-attacks against Tottenham and stifling Tottenham Hotspur well. Now, another thing that Maresca can do, and we saw how Maresca was able even to employ a kite midfield with only Caicedo playing deeper. But in this game, I don't think that he might decide to, because if he decides to have Felix also there, then he can probably have Felix, Enzo, and Palmer in that midfield and have more attacking players. But you see, it is Spurs away. So as much as even Spurs are going through a difficult moment, you can't just underrate them and have attacking players. This number of attacking players, you're going to probably move to a 3-1-6 during when we are playing these teams which are in the other half of the table. That is when we are going to improve those players. And the structure there is the 3-1-3. You know that structure that I explained, the kite, the wide fullbacks. These are games where you expect Chelsea to dominate possession. But because in this game the possession stat is going to be 50-50, or probably a possession in favor of Spurs, because Chelsea might decide to be quite reserved and conservative in this game, then it is better that Chelsea stick with that 3-5, with the security of Lavia and Caicedo ahead of that backline, because you have the steal of Caicedo, you have the positional awareness and recovery of Lavia next to him. Now, Chelsea have already ticked the first three. The next one is the red fixture, and once they win this, you can just see the next 7 are 7 winnable games. So if Chelsea win this game, they'll get 31 points, and if they win the other 11 games, points that if they win this, they will have 31. If they win the other 7 games, those are 21, and Chelsea can find themselves having 52 points. Chelsea are currently seated second with a better goal difference than Arsenal, and I believe in this game, if we field the lineup that I have selected, if we play the way we played against Aston Villa and how shaky Tottenham's backline is, and the pace that we will generate, we can even walk out of Tottenham Hotspur with a 6-0 victory. However, Tottenham has had very surprising fixtures playing against the top teams. So what do you think? What are your score predictions for this game? What do you think Chelsea will get in this game? Leave your comments in the comment section area below. Thanks for watching.